Adrienne Marie Brown. I mean, she's definitely been, I think, one of the greatest thought leaders in this concept, the emergent strategies. And I, I've been really inspired by writers that have been using her philosophies to create new worlds. Um, there was somebody who started to think about like how we can operate in new ways of being, and sometimes it was in sci-fi, sometimes it was in, different ways of thinking. But I think that what I really got inspired, and I don't remember the names of these authors, but like what I was really inspired by with these different forms of writing, using this concept of, thinking differently about how we interact as individuals and as society, is being able to dream up new possibilities that we haven't thought of.
Yeah.
We're so limited by our experience and our beliefs and our conditioning that it is sometimes hard to think outside of that. I can tell you that's been one of my problems in manifestation, that sometimes I feel like what I'm trying to create or what I'm trying to do is bigger than anything that I already know. And because it's bigger than that, I don't know how to create this framework. We think sometimes about manifestation, thinking very specifically about the details so that you can feel into it. Lately, I've been doing the reverse, where I've been feeling into this sense of being comfortable with the unknown and like allowing something to come into me like kale in my dessert so that I don't question it, right? Where I'm allowing myself to open up to the possibility that what I want to do or what I want to manifest is not yet known or has not yet been done. And that's, I think, an important part of today, and like today's society, and the heart chakra and this idea of connection is knowing yourself well enough to trust yourself, to trust these downloads from your higher self, from your spirit guides, from the universe, that you don't let the ego mind get in there and start saying like, well, is that really possible? Should I really do that? Is that really normal? Who cares? Right?
Well, and that you're so much more than the construct of, the social constructs. I mean, I think that is the heart of Afrofuturism and the work of Octavia Butler, which Adrienne Marie Brown references as so much as like a touchstone for her work, is like, especially if you're coming from an oppressed group, it's like you have to imagine, well, one, you come from the infinite. You are the infinite. You are God consciousness. You are the divine, period, regardless of what anybody tells you. And so you have to imagine another possibility where you get to be that, another reality where you are that.
Yes. Yes, it's so true. It's so true. And sometimes it's also and in relation to that, sometimes I find that putting past experiences into context with that in mind. So, for example, there was somewhere along the 10, driving along the 10, somebody had a sign saying that if you believe in Jesus, you don't go to hell, or something along those lines, And I, was immediately, thinking about, my Catholic school days and like all the Christianity that I was brought up with and this concept of Jesus and hell. And I realized that so this was my epiphany today. Hell is actually our lower chakras. It's when we're stuck in our lower chakras, right? This is that sense of disconnection, of ego, of not knowing our tribe, not knowing our history, not knowing our ancestors, just being locked in ourselves and not connected. And when we are believing, and Jesus, Mary, Krishna, Kali, Isis, whoever you want to put in there, whoever is on your playlist, like this, when you have that connection, you are now being connected to your higher self. That's the heaven. Because if you are believing in the trueness of what they are sending as messages, then that is the connection with the higher self. That's the connection with the oneness. And that is why believing in Jesus will get you out of hell. It doesn't matter who you believe in, but it's getting you out of this lower chakra and raising you up into your upper chakras and bringing you into that connection with the highest self.
I love that reframe, Vanita.
Yeah. And this is where I'm saying, like, sometimes it's taking those old beliefs and putting it into a new structure.
Right.
Well, and understanding too, right, that it's not about going through some other hierarchy or some other being to find that connection, but that we each are part of that I am consciousness, that we are already there. And so we each access that on our own, like we have that power.
It's so true. All that power is within us, right? Like it keeps coming back down, like to that one phrase that we are God. We are expressions of that one infinite source. We individually have that power. And that's where we have that power to create and manifest. It's crazy though, how much is locked in our brains. Every time I sit and I think that I'm over whatever crap I am dealing with, every time I think I'm past it, I still have that reel inside my brain that's like, are you sure? Can you do that? Are you good enough? Are you able to?
I was just listening to a conversation, and one of the guests who couldn't reference where she had heard this. But what she said was really powerful. She said the last place for colonialism to leave is your brain.
Ooh.
Right? And I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. All right. That's why that whole decolonize movement is so important, right? I'm all about decolonizing your medicine, right? Food is the medicine. Decolonize all of those. And it's so true. It's all in our brain.